Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we have brought you some incredible guests as of late on Church and State, and we are pleased to announce that we have gotten an exclusive interview with Joe Biden. Now, we are waiting for him to connect, but please stay tuned for this exclusive interview.
Yeah, we are waiting right now.
Caleb Collier says that this proposal is meant to protect their Second Amendment rights.
I'm proposing that the city of Spokane Valley issue a proclamation stating that our city is a Second Amendment sanctuary city.
Welcome to the fire.
Today on Church and State, we interview Joe Biden. Hello, Christian Patriots, and welcome to Church and State, where we strive to plug you into the pew and plug you into politics. And I am your host, Caleb Collier, and with me, as always, Pastor Gabe Blomgren.
We are waiting for a few minor details right now with our technical team. When we are live, give us a heads up because we have some important questions.
For Joe Biden. That's right. And hey, Gabe, we are ready.
We are live?
Yeah,
Okay.
We are live with Joe Biden. So go ahead, Gabe, and hit him with your first question.
So, Mr. Biden, addressing the mistrust regarding vaccines, what would you say to America?
You got the vaccination?
Yeah.
Are you okay? I mean, you seem no, it works. Or or the mom and dad, or the neighbor, or when you go to church, or when you're no, I really mean it. There are trusted interlocutors. Think of the people. If your kid wanted to find out whether or not there's a man on the moon or whatever, something, or whether those aliens are here or not, who are the people they talk to beyond the kids who love talking about it?
So that was a little strange, but all right. Thank you. But let's go ahead and go to our second question here. Now, many in the security industries have expressed concerns that sex offenders and child traffickers are taking advantage of our porous borders. How will your administration address this concerning issue?
I saw that made me aware when I was in law school. Proudly for Holloway. Proudly for your dad. First African-American state senator in the state of Delaware. Everything about. And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, the men, they're now all men, the guys I work with down here, and they're all guys at the time, they're all good men. Most of them made an awful lot of themselves. And Earl Larkin had a rough time. And some of you knew Earl. I came back as a public defender.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
That was kind of a strange response to this question, but we're just going to go ahead and continue here. So, sir, the country has had extreme cases of racial division. Some say we are more divided than we have ever been. Can you discuss any ideas that you might have on how to heal this land?
I learned a lot. And I learned that it makes a difference. This was the diving board area, and I was one of the guards, and there was a 3-meter board. If you fell off sideways, you landed on the darn cement over there. And Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did, and back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, "Hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off." Well, he came off, and he said, "I'll meet you outside." My car, these were all public housing behind it. My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, "I'll be waiting for you." He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors. Not a joke. There was a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse. the only white guy, and he did all the pools. He was the mechanic. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, come down here in the basement where all the pool filter is. You know the chain, there used to be a chain that went across the deep end. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up, he said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. I said, you kidding me? He said, no, if you don't come back. And he was right. So I walked out with the chain. And I walked up to my car. And they in those days, used to remember the straight razor. You'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty. And I looked at him, but I was smart then. I said, first of all, I said, when I tell you get off the board, you get off the board, and I'll kick you out again, but I shouldn't have called you Esther Williams. I apologize for that. I apologize, but I didn't know that apology was going to work. He said, you apologize to me? I said, I apologize for that, not for throwing you out, but I apologize for what I said. He said, okay, closed the straight razor, and my heart began to beat again.
So I'm not entirely sure any of that really made much sense in regards to the question I asked you, but I believe Gabe has another one for you.
Yes, Mr. Biden, cognitively, there's just been some inference that you are slipping, you're losing it. What would be your response to that, sir?
Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump, who brags?
So, you want to follow up on that?
Yeah, well, just can you answer the question? Have you taken the test?
Or have any doctors, there's a lot of doctors that have actually specifically said that there is some sort of cognitive decline. So how would you respond to that?
If he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates. There's going to be plenty of time. And by the way, as I joke with him, you know, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am sir, very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
So I'm going to remind you, sir, that you are, in fact, the president, according to the election. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to my fifth question here. So cases of COVID-19 have dropped significantly since 2020. Now, one of your campaign promises was to beat this virus. Can you point to any policies that you believe helped end this pandemic?
Because you can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine. The vaccine can stop the spread of these diseases.
Once again, I'm a little bit lost as to what you meant by that, but we're going to go ahead and continue the interview. Gabe, I believe the next question was yours.
Yes, Mr. Biden. Regarding the Constitution, it is a very important part of my friend here, our co-host's life. The preamble has something to say regarding people being created in God's image. What is your take on that?
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Okay, he knows the thing.
That's a little bit terrifying, but all right. I think I know where you were going with that, so we'll just go ahead and move on to the next question. Sir, America is the freest country in the world. Many look to the United States as a symbol of hope and prosperity. If you could describe America in one word, what would you say?
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. And actually traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact.
The Himalayas? I'm not quite sure what he means by that, Gabe. But okay. Last question for me, and then Gabe has one more as well, sir. So, Mr. Biden, 2020 was an extremely contentious election year. There are concerns that 2022 could also see significant election fraud. How will you personally ensure that our elections are fair and honest?
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
So I believe you just admitted to fraud in 2020, but then again, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Go ahead, Gabe, with that last question here.
Yeah, Mr. Biden, our final question, it's optional. You can either choose to answer about immigration, or you can either, it's very concerning whether, if, and when your butt's been wiped. We're wondering your thoughts on that.
We have put together, I think, what must be what?
Immigration. A pathway for citizenship.
There needs to be a pathway for citizenship. Whether it can be immigration remains to be seen.
So,
that was a twofold question. He answered both.
It was. He did.
Mr. President, you have some toilet paper hanging.
I think he might be signaling that the interview is probably over.
Well, before you go, Mr. President, I just turned 21, actually, and I'm a little concerned with some of the new gun laws going on. I mean, I want to be able to defend my family here coming up. Do you have anything to say in that regard?
If you want to protect yourself, get a double-barrel shotgun. Have the shells, a 12-gauge shotgun. And I promise you, as I told my wife, we live in an area that's wooded and somewhat secluded. I said, Jill, if there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony here, or walk out, put that double-barrel shotgun, and fire 2 blasts outside the house. I promise you, who's ever coming in is not going to. You don't need an AR-15. It's harder to aim. It's harder to use. And in fact, you don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun.
As a United States Marine, I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you there, sir. You never want to just take out a firearm and shoot it randomly into the air. But I did want to, I want to thank you for your time, sir, and we really have enjoyed having you on the show.
Dog-faced pony shoulder.
Well, okay. I guess I can live with that. I'm not entirely sure what a lying dog-faced pony soldier is, but once again, I want to thank you for your time. And, sir, please be careful of that first step as you exit. But then, once again, thank you for your time.
Hi, this is the Church and State producer, Joe Biden. We're going to let you off the air here. And, we have some footage here live as he boards
exiting
Air Force One.
He didn't heed my advice. I told him to be careful of that first step, and clearly he did not heed my advice.
Nor the 5th or the 8th step as well. I think he's okay. All right.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that was really...
that was very thorough.
It was an interesting interview.
He was very... I thought better than normal.
Yeah, definitely.
He was wearing pants.
Yeah. There were a few of his infamous gaffes, I want to say, there, but still, it was an absolute pleasure to be able to get such a high-level guest, even though, Gabe and I don't agree with really anything he said there. But, we still had an incredible opportunity there, Gabe.
He did mention the man on the moon, who I'm a good friend of.
Yeah, that is a good point. So, all right, with that, I want to really talk about a good night's sleep, because I think potentially a good night's sleep could fix some of Joe Biden's problems here.
Do you think he has narcolepsy?
I would guarantee either
he's
that...
He's asleep most of the time.
Maybe that's it.
He was awake for us, which I was impressed with.
That's true. He was awake for us. But, if he just simply bit the bullet, because it'd be a stretch for him to do this, but if he simply just bought a MyPillow pillow, I think that we could probably fix some of these cognitive issues that he's experiencing. And if he is still listening, which I doubt he is, but if he is...
If he typed in Church and State.
Yeah, like if he just went to MyPillow...
typed it in.
And typed in the promo code Church and State, he could get up to 66% off on not just pillows. I mean, clearly, if he's got, issues with cleanliness down below, he could potentially use a towel so that he could shower more often.
Right.
And MyPillow has some fantastic towels. Now, old people, they like to shuffle around in their slippers and bathrobes all the time, right?
Perfect.
So here we go. Go over to MyPillow. You can get some amazing slippers and an amazing bathrobe, and really live in luxury here.
But here's the thing: we all know that the politicians, particularly the leftist, corrupt Biden type politicians, they're all words and no speak. I'm sure that they're all secretly harboring MyPillows at home simply because they're so good. Kind of like how Caleb secretly goes home and eats well-done steak and Swedish fish.
No, that is a lie. That is an absolute lie, Travis. I will never, ever consume a well-done steak. And Swedish fish, I will literally throw in the trash. But you do have something, and real quick, I'll transition there in a minute, but I just want to remind our audience here. Look, Church and State promo code on MyPillow, save up to 66% off. Ladies and gentlemen, we need you to support not only MyPillow, but also this wonderful show. We get a percentage of whatever you guys buy. So please go to MyPillow and support Church and State through this. All right, Travis, I'm
actually getting a message right now from the Secret Service. Somebody just piped in and was asking if MyPillow has any type of onesie type garments or diapers, anything like that.
Not that I'm aware of, but you could certainly pitch it.
Okay, did you catch that? We do not have it as of now, but we are going to pitch to Mike Lindell the onesie idea, and you need a Velcro opening in the back for him.
Definitely Velcro, because he won't be able to function with the buttons.
That fixes the whole, they're saying, the diaper wipe issue. Okay.
All right, so let's go over to meat, because Travis brought it up, and this is great. Now, he hit me today, actually, as we got into the studios, and he told me this. He said, Caleb, how's the diet? He asked me that. How's the diet? And I started going on about it, and I'll get there in a minute. But then he hit me with this. He said, your diet makes me angry. Travis, why does my new diet make you angry?
Here's the deal. So Caleb Collier is an interesting gentleman. There's something, I don't want to say wrong with him, but almost frustratingly, there's a feature about him that just doesn't react to reality in the same way that others do. And I'm not just talking about his, his silliness, but I was talking to the women of our church here, and they were saying all their diets they're going on. And then Caleb here goes on an only meat diet, and he's losing weight. He's feeling better. He's eating no vegetables, no fruit.
And shrinking on the left at the same time. Vegans across the nation.
They love this diet.
Caleb, he could have probably chose any diet. He could have eaten only sushi, only M&Ms.
Would you even try that?
No.
And just gotten slimmer. He could have eaten only Kit Kats and became an absolute monster in muscle. I don't understand it.
I want him to go on the Little Debbie snacks.
No,
Little Debbie
I'm never going to eat Little Debbie, but I'll tell you, with this diet, and Travis is right. Like, I was literally out to breakfast with a friend of mine, and he started talking about he's considering going on this diet, and he's telling me all about the carnivore diet, and I look at him and I go, I'm going to try it right now. And that's really what it took for me. I was just like, okay, I'll do it right now. So I ordered eggs and bacon and sausage, I believe. And that started this journey for me, right? And, at my heaviest weight, I'd ballooned all the way up to 194 pounds. It's too much for me, okay? But I'm all the way down. In just a week's time, I am all the way down to 180 pounds. I feel fantastic, mental clarity. And you're right, Gabe. It's really making the left angry because I am just consuming primarily red meat, too, because I love red meat. But, eggs, bacon, I can have some cheese. I'm actually technically called it's a dirty carnivore because I'm eating eggs. I'm eating the cheese and stuff. Yeah, but still, I highly recommend this diet. And you know what I have found in a week's time? I don't need vegetables. I don't need fruits. And I'm going to continue this for at least 30 days, and we'll see if I get scurvy or not.
Like, you're going to turn pale. Dude, you're going to be like licking like stickers that have the scratch and sniff like smell of citrus. You're going to be craving citrus.
I highly recommend that everybody that watches.
Are you drinking orange juice?
No, I'm
that's
not
cheating.
No,
if you do.
I'm not drinking orange juice.
I don't believe you.
No
apple juice.
No, I still drink coffee. I will say that. That's the one thing.
Multivitamins.
No,
you're not taking any multivitamins.
No.
Okay, this guy's going to get scurvy. Travis.
No, I'm not.
I can't wait.
It's high fat diet, and it is phenomenal. And I'll tell you, the health industry has done a great disservice. They've done a great disservice to
So you're
to
literally
Americans.
disproving the food pyramid.
The low fat diet is garbage. The no fat diet, it's total trash.
The fruits and vegetables and all that.
High
Remember the
fat
pyramid?
intake. I'm telling you, it's working for me. And,
I believe my second grade teacher.
The proof is in the meat pudding. Okay, so there you go.
Pudding is right.
All right.
You hit the nail on the head there.
Now, Church and State was, we weren't sure what to expect exactly with our interview with Biden. We know sometimes he's suspected to take performance-enhancing drugs. Clearly, this was not one of those times. So it went a little bit short. It's probably a good thing. But we do have a Church and State Reacts segment. As a matter of fact, one of our listeners reached out and sent Church and State this video. If you're on air with us, you can send Church and State message media@SpokaneOnFire.church, and I may or may not present your artifacts, your videos to these two gentlemen so they can simply react to them.
We aren't prepped. We do not see these until the moment of.
I'm actually looking forward to these. I like these.
I love the surprise,
fun,
the fanfare.
All right.
This is legitimate right here in the flesh. We've never seen this.
All right, here we go.
And relationship with the Creator God. So today I wish to pray a prayer that was written for this incredible day. Will you pray with me? O God of pronouns, we give praise to the Great One, the one who is identifiable as God. I am what I am, you say, the great they, the incarnate he and she, the God of trans being.
What?
Impregnating Mary, fathering God, breastfeeding God.
Is that it, or does it continue?
Oh, there's more.
Oh, keep going, please.
Okay.
Many breasts.
What?
You shatter all stereotypes, making every single person male and female.
He's like, hey.
Male and female, intersex, non-binary, in your image.
This is a preacher.
Exactly, in your image.
That is not a preacher.
Spectrum, rainbow God, who put your promise for nonviolence in the symbol for queer love before humanity knew, because you knew. Who had Joseph, who could not sleep with a woman in a beautiful lady's cloak, perhaps of rainbow colors, before we knew. You knew. God of pronouns, who said, you can call me he or she or they, whatever makes you feel closest to me. Invisible and visible God, on this day, where visibility and celebration, belatedness, affirmation, and acceptance is the bare minimum. Remind us that you are the God of pronouns, so you affirm and you celebrate them. God of Saul, Paul, Simon, Isaac, Jacob, Isaac, Simon, Peter, Abram and Sarai, and Abraham and Sarah.
I think she's gone.
God of Joseph, of the coat of many colors, of the Ethiopian eunuch, of the Virgin Mary. God of all found families in the Bible. Remind us that you affirm us in our full identity. Name, pronoun, found family, all of it. For this, we give you thanks and praise to the great I am, the great they, them.
Oh.
Thank you, God. And so in the now in the words that our mother, our father, and our sibling God taught us to pray, and pray with us now. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors.
I can barely stomach her.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power,
Are they going to say a
glory
woman?
forever. Amen.
So
they said the whole thing in its entirety,
I know,
unedited.
but that might have been the part that angered me the most. Travis, I don't know how you did it, you and our fan here that sent us this video, but we've actually found someone dumber than Joe Biden, and I'm flabbergasted by this. Now, Gabe, you were taking some notes, but she seemed to kind of convey this idea that because Joseph wore a multicolored coat, that he was obviously a homosexual,
right?
Which doesn't make any sense at all, obviously. I mean, the Old Testament is filled with scriptures regarding homosexuality. Also, why would he try to sleep, or why would the accusation be thrown at him that he was trying to sleep with Potiphar's wife, right?
Right. We also have the intensity of a dial tone. I loved it. Her monologue was absolutely snore-worthy, but she kept bringing up this term over and over, rainbow God.
Yeah.
Here's
the God of the rainbow.
Here's the very thing that used as a symbol across the sky. I'm not going to destroy you again with the flood.
But he will with the fire.
Interestingly, he destroyed the flood largely for sexual promiscuity.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the very reason why he was so angry with humanity, they're now basically flagrantly flipping back at him with no remorse whatsoever. And then they also use the God of pronouns many times. I was disturbed at the idea of, did she say God had breasts?
Yeah, breastfeeding.
Many breasts.
Yeah, and she
that
said,
sounds like a demonic.
It sounds
creature.
Indian, like many hands and
Yeah, there was so much heresy in what this is. Do we know what church she's from?
No, maybe I can find it. Let's see.
Okay, so
I was glad when she said "I am," but then
she said
gosh,
they them.
She followed it with they.
That was
them.
That was her 2 cents of scripture to twist the whole thing.
Yes,
so there's something in there from the Bible,
and that in particular really angers me. My favorite word for the Lord, his favorite name is the great I am. Like I am is just so powerful. That simple statement, and so for her to actually then take it and put they them was really just atrocious in my mind, anyway. But no idea on where she's from.
This is the First Presbyterian Church of Iowa City.
Okay,
oh my gosh, Middle America.
Yeah, but there's a lot of churches that have really gone wayward, and for a large part, not everybody, and please don't be offended by this, but the Presbyterian Church, in a lot of ways, has been infected by the left. The Methodists are another one that very infected by the Episcopalians as well. So it really doesn't surprise me. But you did
Whoever
get a good
sent
reaction.
This in, thank you so much for sending in. It's eye-opening. What a twist of the word I am. We only got about 40 seconds. Travis, can you share what you shared about I am the other night? It was so powerful.
Yeah. Multiple Christian leaders that are just highly respected had this revelation where the Lord tells them, stop taking my name in vain. And they say, God, what? I don't take your name in vain. And God says, every time you say, I am not good enough, I am going to fail, I am this, I am that, you are using God's self-proclaimed name.
That is
I am.
That is
good. Our identity is in Christ, and we ought to treat his name with that respect.
Well, way to end on a serious note. That was fantastic. Now, hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this show, stay tuned because we've got Clay Clark coming up next.
Yes, the heroic antics of Clay Clark. Come on, he's a great man.
Amen. All right. Church and State is sponsored in part by On Fire Ministries and Understanding the Threat, vanquishing liberty's enemies and restoring the republic. And with that, Church and State is out.
My butt's been wiped.